and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Okay, you have a motion? Oh, you don't have a motion, let's wait a minute. We'll do a motion once we look at the amendments. We'll come back, we'll take Senator Hancock, we'll do, oh no, let's do a motion on your first bill, which is SB, what's it,
313.
313, I crossed that. That's due pass as amended to the floor. Do we have a motion on this? Moved by Senator Bell. Secretary, please call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Laura. Morlock. Morlock, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye.
4-0, we'll hold that open. And just for Senator Bell, and I think also for Senator Pavley, I don't know, but file item number 6, file item 9, and file item number 12 have been pulled. Okay?
I could make a motion.
And consent, let's do
Calendar.
consent. What are consent items? Which one is it?
Number 2.
Number 2? Consent, yeah.
I'll make a
We
motion.
have a motion by Senator Pavley for file item number 2, SB 295, consent, due pass to appropriations. Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Laura. Morlock. Morlock, no. Pavley. Pavley, aye. 3-1.
3-1, we'll keep that file item number the open. We'll come back on your, do we have a language here we agree to, everybody, so we can do this before Senator Galgiani leaves, or we'll bring up Senator Hancock and do this right afterwards?
You can bring her up.
Let's bring up Senator Hancock. File item number 5, SB 371, Senator Hancock. File item number 5.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. SB 371 is really cleanup legislation to clarify that school and community college districts have options when developing local tax measures that allow them to exempt certain classes of property owners. This bill makes clear that districts can exempt up to 3 classes of property owners on fixed income: seniors over age 65, those receiving supplemental Social Security, SSI, and disabled who are receiving Social Security disability insurance. Last year, we added SSDI to the list of exemptions. Since then, the Santa Clara County Council's office has raised an issue that the words "all of the following" could be taken to mean that a parcel tax must either have all 3 exemptions or no exemptions. That is not the intent of the bill. And SB 371 would clear up that confusion, essentially changing all of the following to any or all.
Good.
I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Witnesses in support? Opposition? Howard Jarvis?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members, good morning again. David Wolf with Howard Jarvis. It's nice when I can sit here and don't have to move. We are...
Be a permanent seat, no problem.
I know, it's like Department of Finance and Appropriations hearings, you know, it's just always on call.
But follow Ron Lonnie.
Right. So, but, Mr. Chairman, we are opposed to this bill, and let me just go into the reasons why very briefly. The issue that we have here is with the underlying policy of these exemptions. We don't believe that it's either fair or equitable for these exemptions to occur. If partial taxes are approved with a 2/3 vote, we believe either everybody should have to pay them, or in the event you do carry forward the exemption, there is some problems with that, in that members who are eligible for it need to opt into the exemption every year, or they don't get it. They need to take express action to opt in, or they don't get the exemption from the parcel tax. So either let's get rid of the exemption entirely, or let's do a one-time opt-in process in order to ensure that seniors and those on SSI and SSDI actually qualify and get the exemption. That just seems like better public policy. So we are opposed to what we view as an expansion of this exemption.
Thank you. Any further opposition? Questions from the members? Sir?
Mr. Chair, that since you've been involved with so many school bond measures, I have 2 in Orange County as treasurer. And one of the benefits of doing a school bond is you're improving your neighborhood.
That's right.
So you're getting, theoretically, some added value to your property.
That's right.
So if certain taxpayers aren't paying, they're getting a benefit in the increased value of their homes, properties. And so I'm wondering why an exemption, why not a deferral? You're disabled near the end of your life, you're going to sell your home in the estate sale. Shouldn't there be a catch-up for what you didn't pay because you received a benefit for that?
Isn't that a distinction without a difference? Because if you own the home and you pass away and you're old, you get a stepped-up basis, you don't pay tax. On the other hand, I mean, this is one of these arguments of form over substance. If you sell it and you roll it into a new property, you got 2 years to roll it, you don't pay tax. This is a real estate deal. If you look at the law in its totality with respect to real estate, it doesn't apply anyway. It's an argument without any impact, because, I mean, there might be some place where somebody's got a $30 million house and they sell it, they don't fall under the exemptions or whatever the case may be. But to me, I mean, in the other schools, it's a distinction without a difference, because we already have, look at all the other law that surrounds real estate.
Well, I'm looking at trying to provide some kind of scholarship form for someone who can't afford to pay the tax. And so I'm looking at it not as an exemption, but as a deferral.
Yeah, I got that. I got it. Yeah, but I mean, the deferrals, that's my point about deferrals on right. Yeah, right, the reverse mortgages.
Reverse mortgages.
Yeah, exactly. It would just shrink the amount of money they had for financeability. Senator Bell, you have a question? Okay. Any opposition? Other opposition? You want to close?
Very small clarification, more local option. I would respectfully ask for your aye
We
vote.
have a motion?
I will move.
Senator Pavley so moves. Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Laura. Morlock. Morlock, no.
Thank you for
Pavley?
that.
Aye.
Pavley, aye. 3-1.
3-1, we'll hold that open. Thank you so much, Senator. Do you have anything else? Nope, that's it. Okay. Who do we have next who's not a committee member?
He's going to speak on his. They're ready for Galgiano.
Yeah, is Galgiani back? Are you done? Do we have language? Yeah. We have agreed upon language. Let's
Want me to read it?
yeah, why don't you read it into the, so Senator Morlock understands it. He asked about it, and we got to answer it for him. And then we'll have Senator Jackson. Is she up next? Or no, who was here? You were here? Superman.
The motion is going to be to amend SB 710. This is the introduced version of the bill. It would insert on page 4 between lines 35, after line 35, before line 36, a paragraph 4 there, or I guess it's a subsection 4, which will read, "There shall be no exclusion from California state income taxes for interest on any bonds issued pursuant to paragraph C sub 2 sub B." And that essentially refers to the language that's being amended into the bill, starting on line 24 of page 2.
Why can't we take it now? Why can't we do it now? We probably need to take this amendment in appropriate because of the, what?
Yes. But if I may, Mr. Chair, if,
It's not a fiscal bill?
This is being double referred to approach, but it's not.
It's not a fiscal bill, it's double referred. So it's not necessary, so we can do it now. I want to do it now.
yes.
I'm sorry?
Sandy directed it to go to
As a double referral, it's not.
double.
So we're okay. So are you guys, did you get, everybody get the language here? It seems pretty clear to me. I'm okay with it. You guys okay with it? McFetrich, you okay with it?
Pretty sure I got to get back to my clients.
Okay. If there's an issue, we can clean it up. Yes?
No, this is, I think, relatively simple concept. But just procedurally, it's always better in case there's a mix-up in the language or the subsection or anything to take.
No, so if there's a question,
Take the
make it-
amendment in the next committee. I didn't know it was double referred.
Yeah. So we could do it. If it needs to be cleaned up, we'll clean it up in the next committee. I like
And
to get,
so if there was an opponent, they would know about it.
yeah,
They don't know, not everyone knows this is being taken.
yeah. But they can still amend it further in appropriate. There's another committee that you can do it, but I'd like to just deal with this issue and clean it up if we need to clean it up.
I would like to deal with it today if we could,
Okay.
and
Is that okay?
if we need
Do you have
to,
a motion on this? Moved by Senator Bell. Secretary, call the roll.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Laura. Morlock. Morlock, aye. Pavley.
Aye.
Pavley, aye.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, we can hold that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being so accommodating on this.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Solve problems. And you're right, there may be some issues on process. We got one more committee to do it, but it's good where everybody's here to work it out and get it done. Okay?
For my clarification, so since it's double referral, are we actually going to be the one to draft that amendment?
We just did. We just adopted it.
So do it in each council form.
So Jim, I met with
Correct.
Nissan yesterday.
100%. Okay, is this file item number 8, SB 493? Senator Canella, correct?
Yes.
Okay, file item number 8, members.
Oh,
You ready, Mr. Chairman?
Ready to go?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. You know, a lot of bills that we do in Sacramento are sponsored bills. This is a bill that, based on my time in local government, I was the mayor of my city, and I'm very close to a lot of the local elected officials. That was the genesis of this bill. Basically, there's a big movement in the Central Valley and certainly throughout the state of California to move from at-large elections to district elections. And, you know, really, I agree with a lot of the district elections, but this bill doesn't say that they're good or they're bad. What happens is the councils in a general law city do not have the ability on their own to approve district elections. So they may say, yes, we agree, we're going to draw the maps up, but we have to go to a vote of the citizens. And a lot of times the citizens will say no. Well, then what happens is those cities are sued, it's very expensive, and then ultimately they have to go to district elections anyway. So really, my bill just says that we're going to take the step out where it goes to the vote of the people. It's going to be the councils take action, which we're a representative form of government. That is really a vote of the people. And I think, look, if cities don't want to go district elections, they can still go down the old path. This just gives those cities the ability to say yes or no on their own without going to court. So I think it's a good bill. I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, it's not endorsing or not endorsing district elections. It just gives city councils the tools to do that. So with that, I have a couple of witnesses. Maggie Mejia from the Latino Community Roundtable. Go ahead, Maggie.
Good morning. My name is Maggie Mejia. I am the president of the Latino Community Roundtable of Stanislaus County. I live in Modesto. I saw what happened to the city of Modesto. They were sued for over $3 million by the same attorney that helped to write and put the words in the California Voting Rights Act. All that money left our county, not to be seen again. Our organization in 2013 began the endeavors and the push of asking and actually demanding all cities in Stanislaus County and school districts to move forward with district elections before they were hit the same way as the city of Modesto does. As of today, every city in Stanislaus County, except for one, that is a municipality, has moved forward with district elections. Their concern is when you take it to the voters, you spend more time, you spend more dollars. The bill, SB 493, will avoid all of that. We're here to support it, and we want you to support it as well.
Thank you so much.
Right, and good morning. Alicia Lewis with the League of California Cities. In support of the measure, we view this as another option available to local jurisdictions to address voting rights issues within their areas. It allows them to go ahead and do an analysis of their demographics, of their voter turnout, and make a determination over what's the best election system for their current situation, particularly to avoid litigation. Currently, we have the issue of even if putting it on the ballot and your voters reject it, you're still not shielded under the Voting Rights Act. And considering the robustness of the lawsuits that have taken place, as the Latino Community Roundtable mentioned, it's siphoning money from our cities. And so if we're going to address the issue of vote dilution and politically, racially polarized voting, being able to have an option that addresses it, that streamlines it, and makes it cost-effective seems to benefit not only the community, but also leadership. We view this bill as a way that protects local control, but is also addressing the concerns of the community without having to divert funds into litigation and instead going ahead and putting into engaging the community in drawing district lines and doing what's our best to promote participation on that front. So just recently, the City of Highland, their voters rejected it, and they're still in litigation now, even after putting it on the ballot. Whittier,
Bernardino County?
and that, yes, down in there. And then Whittier, same issue of already being in the process of public engagement to implement districts, had already been served, and so they were still end up having to pay a settlement, even though they were already through the process with the public. So right now, there's just no win situation for folks that are falling under the CVRA and having issues, but we don't want a blanket policy. So if at-large is working, let that be, but if districts would be better, then we'd like to see that outlet.
Seen that dance? Okay. Right, exactly right. Exactly. Further in support.
Hello, members. Paula Lee, Californians for Electoral Reform. We are support if amended because we recognize, and we hope you will recognize that, well, we do have your same goals. We're totally supportive of the intent of this bill, and we do support full and fair representation for all voters. So our mission is the same, but we would like committees that are hearing this bill to recognize that there are other options to districts. And sometimes districts cannot be drawn to ensure representation for a protected class. And a great example of that is the city of Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita, the protected class, are spread out throughout the city.
What's the amendment that you want?
Well, our amendment is to allow for an option such as cumulative voting be used in an at-large system when a district cannot be drawn. Cumulative voting was actually the agreed-upon settlement when Santa Clarita was sued,
Here, and I don't even know if they know aware of this bill, and this has been a big issue for them.
Yeah, and as I remember.
Yes. And it will be a big issue for other cities in the future because districts will not always be the be-all, end-all and the one-size-fits-all answer for these lawsuits.
Throughout in several different areas of the city, so you can't carve a district that's geographically.
Yeah, you can't charge your car. Yeah, exactly.
So
I know the issue, yeah.
So a lot of people aren't even familiar with what cumulative voting is. It just means that that voters in that jurisdiction could use all three of their votes. If it's, vote for three for a city council, they could put all their votes on one person, and that gives them an edge. This is called a semi-proportional voting system, and it's widely accepted in corporate elections in order to give minority shareholders a seat at the table. And that's what we would hope all these bills that are looking at districts could just have an option. We're not opposed to districts. So we have recommended amendment language in our letter that was submitted to in the analysis. And I have that recommended language here if anyone wants to look at it.
We have no opposition in this, on our analysis.
I don't think they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Who are you representing?
Californians for Electoral Reform.
Okay. Any further support or conditional support? Any opposition to this measure? We didn't see it. We have unknown opposition. We got your deal. Any questions from the members? I mean, I like the bill. I think that there's a sensitivity that what I would suggest, Senator Pavley, with respect to this issue of, that's important. I mean, I thought it was a really good idea, but why don't we do this? Why don't we, I'd like to pass the bill today, vote for it, and if there's a real question with this, I'd like to have a little bit of homework, and we'll bring it back to we'll agree to bring it back to the committee if necessary, if we can't fix this or we deem it to be a bigger issue once you take a look at Santa Clarita. You just want the commitment from the author in that regard, and I'd certainly entertain any other questions. I'd like to entertain a motion.
I am well aware of the aggressive litigation in some cities to push this issue, and it's very contentious. And in the Palmdale area, interestingly enough, it was making sure that the black community had proper representation, and the suit was filed, and a black gentleman had just been elected mayor.
Oh my God.
And so it was it was sort of a non-issue, but they're looking at any communities where they feel that certain subsets of people don't have adequate representation. But it's not always easy if districts can't be carved to acknowledge that, and you're assimilated into the general public.
That's exactly the issue. We have a motion on this? So moved by Senator Bell. Secretary, call the roll. You don't need to close.
Close, okay.
We don't close around here.
Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Wynn. Bell. Bell, aye. Hernandez. Laura. Morlock. Morlock, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. 4-0.
4-0, we'll hold it open. Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it very much. I think, was it Senator Jackson was here next, or was it Senator Block was ahead of you?